Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For any first time viewers, I'm Jesse Rebirth, and today we're going to be unboxing one of my most awaited statues of this year, the DKIII The Master Race Batman. So, if you're wondering, basically Prime 1 took a variant cover from Del Otto and literally turned it into a statue. I'll just put a picture up right here. It was a variant cover for Bulletproof Comics. A vendor. The best thing that I think was one of my favorite things about DKIII Master Race was all the different variants from all these amazing artists that all took like a part of the Dark Knight Returns and basically did their version of it. I mean, we had a Greg Capullo of Armored Batman. We had so many different ones of Armored Batman fighting Superman. It was incredible. But this here is one of my favorite covers. I actually don't own the cover yet, but you know, that'll all change here soon. This statue, I mean, it looks like it's going to be huge. I can't wait to get it up here. I'm going to actually put it where Nightmare Batman is, and we will move him to be with the other four. Is it four?
Yeah.
Yeah, the other four half scales, and then we'll get some video and picture of them all together too. He's just been kind of filling in the spot waiting for this big guy. We do have the Batman Who Laughs on order. I know he's supposed to be coming out sometime relatively soon. But let's go ahead. Let's pop this guy open and see what we got here. All right, we get our instructions right here. And it is just as I thought. The big box will be our base. So we'll have to pop that one up. We can see everything, the way it's going to lay out. We can see how it's all going to go together, but let's just dive in there. You know, I'm digging the yellow one, but I think I want to go black. One thing I would like to say, I have a buddy, he's an extremely talented artist and digital sculptor, and he did a Dark Knight, a DKIII Master Race style cowl, but, you know, more of a dimensions of a real person. And him and I had it printed at a printing service, and I can't wait to get it all perfect. There was a problem where the texture, when it came from the printing service, how some of it was a little different than others. I've been sitting on this project for a little while, but in my Power Ranger video, I had it sitting here on the floor, did not even notice it until I started editing the video. I usually don't like to show things till I'm done with them, but no one even noticed that it was sitting right here on the floor next to me. The thing is our place has been covered in these DKIII busts. I mean, at one point we had like 6 of them sitting around because of little miniature flaws here and there and deflations in the mold and whatnot, but we got a perfect one that we're finalizing for mold to have wearable cowls. My goodness. This thing is huge. It's scary. It looks like it's broken, but it's not.
Oh, it's heavy.
Yeah, it does. What we gotta do, get our turntable right there in the middle. Here's our bottom. Oh, wow, very cool. Let's make sure nothing's wrong with the back. There isn't. Oh, jeez. Oh my goodness. Huge gargoyle or eagle, whatever you want to call it. I mean, this base is massive. You know, it's kind of cool. It's actually in the shape of a Superman chest logo. You see? Yeah, so if you were to look at it from a complete aerial view, it would look like his chest logo. Now, what I think is going to happen is once the wings go on this bad boy, I don't think it's going to fit back there. So we'll have to put it in a different spot. All right. So here, we're basically just gonna have a bunch of our switch outs. So will be the one that holds our rifle, and I'm sure the finger is part of the rifle. Let's go ahead and move this one out of the way for the time. See, they need to get their taping.
That's what happened with
Yeah, it's happened with multiple statues lately, but it's like they're not setting these correctly when they're taped at the factories. And that's not something that's Prime One. It's not their fault directly, because Prime One probably has like 6 different factories making all their different statues. God, they probably have more than that, but these factories or these statues aren't all made by the same factory. He is beautiful. Look at that texture. Oh, I love the wrinkles on him. Now, one thing, it's funny, but when this Batman was announced, I was so excited to get him pre-ordered. I hadn't really been that worried about not getting one or something like that in a while, and it's funny because it's every one that I don't worry about sells out really quick, and every one I do worry about kind of sits around for a while, and I think that has to do with a bit of the size and the price. Like the Bane Rebirth statue, I was counting down the minutes to get that thing on pre-order, and then, you know, he's still sitting around to this day. Everything look okay in there? Because I want to make sure before we get all the way to the end. All right, we got our heads in this one. Cool. Those wings are gigantic. All right, let's consult our instructions and see what they want us to do. So, they want us to put the wings on first. They're light, which is nice. You can see here, this thing is ginormous. Size of my hand to my bicep. And I'm 6 foot, so, well, you know it is nice. They kind of curve, but they stick back just far enough that I definitely don't think it's going to fit right there. I would say, I guess if you're limited on space, you could probably set them up without the wings. Probably wouldn't be a bad option. They're thick as hell, too. Look at that. It still baffles me that something like this could be $1,090 or $1,190, depending whatever. And then a sideshow statue could be like $900 for Mr. Freeze. This right here is more material than that whole Mr. Freeze statue. So, I mean, look at this thing. This right here, for like, say like, someone that just liked gargoyles, this would probably be a statue in itself if there wasn't holes all over it to put a Batman on it. But I mean, like, that's crazy. This base is crazy. This thing is massive. Look at it. Look at this thing. It is wider than my chest. Ludicrous. Not mad about it by any means. I want the craziest, biggest statues out there possible. I think they are dope. I think the bigger, the crazier, the cooler. Let me go ahead and bring him over here and get a good look at him. Check that out. That is the butt of justice. Look at the back, his belt, his boots, everything about this screams masterpiece. God. This thing is a mammoth. All right, next. They want our cape. Look at that.
Is it heavy?
Yeah, it's way heavy. Look, they already put felt tips in there. You can see where they got a bit of the Batman texture in there to try to form fit onto him. I love this wrinkled leather design to him. Yeah, it is heavy. Easily 10 plus pounds, let's say. All right. There we go. Look at that thing. We will definitely expedite this video to the front of the line. We got the Hot Toys Ben Affleck Batman that's been sitting around forever, and I decided just to get it open last night. He is killer. He was going to come up next, or the McFarlane figures that Karen got me for Valentine's Day were going to come up next, but we'll throw him to the front of the line for this week. All right. So it looks like we got a couple hands here. What we're after now is these chest pieces. We got one. We got two. So we got the one like in the artwork, size on my hand. And then we got the black bat. Incredible. Oh, it's chipped. These guys need to get their packing straight.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Because when it has a little gap on between, you know, when it's supposed to be all closed.
Yeah. They're basically doing this to themselves. But look at this right there. Now that could be repaired.
Hopefully anything else is not broken.
Yeah, that could definitely be repaired, but I will be contacting Sideshow. The worst part is this weird relationship that Prime One and Sideshow have right now. My mom was able to get a replacement piece for her Wonder Woman, but Sideshow can't talk with Prime One about just getting a single replacement piece. They want to send back the entire statue. Like, that's just crazy to me. Let's work together. Let's get collectors the broken pieces. Let's get them a replacement. It's not that hard. Okay. So it's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
This puts a whole damper on the situation. Well, let's see without its ear. Damn. You literally got to put this on before you put the cape on. It just does not pop on there. We'll set this aside. I'll let everyone know what Sideshow ends up doing in a separate video. All right. our rifle. This thing is massive. Just as tall as him. You know, the worst part is I'm so used to when something's broken having to stop the video right now that I feel like a little funk to what's going on. Like, I'll tell you this, a lot of people might not understand it because they might not have ever technically gotten a broken statue, but when you do, it's not just as easy. Oh, look. It's like, oh, let's wait for everything. You got to get these things to the post office. You got to ship it out. You got to get your replacement. And then you got to hope that your replacement isn't broken either. And when something is limited,
Yeah.
I mean, are you going to get another one? Like, it's crazy to me that they don't send like a retailer like Sideshow a couple extra pieces for these statues to prepare them. Now, when Wonder Woman was broken, they got that piece immediately fixed right out. But with this, we'll have to see how it goes. I mean, I absolutely appreciate that Sideshow is so fast in contacting you back and getting anything you need. But, I mean, it's a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely upsetting. All right. Now, we'll take our hand that will hold the gun. Get that put in. And then it tells us to put our rifle in. It's a little scary. You gotta do a balancing act at the moment. And now, where might this thumb be? All right. So our thumb is gonna be here. There we go.
It's as big as, oh no, kinda.
Yeah, almost. That's just gonna pop on right there. That kind of seals in the deal for our rifle. I'd be very careful. If you were to bump that hard enough, you'd probably pop it all out. I mean, people probably aren't bumping into their statues or anything, but I don't know. Some of you might have kids that try to touch things. I don't know. Here's a closed fist. Very cool. That's going to go on right there. I am absolutely loving this, I will say that. Now we got another hand. This one will definitely be for our rope. So we're going to have two hands that are with holes in them. That'll probably be this one as well. Yep. There we go. So what it looks like is we're going to feed the rope ourselves. Which is a little crazy. I get it. It's going to be hard though. Now, one thing that's pretty cool. This hand, if you're someone that picked up the DX version, which this chest piece is part of the DX, you also got this. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how cool that is. How is it that something like this survives shipping? Well, I'll tell you why. This box was taped extremely well.
And the bottom one wasn't.
Yeah, and the box that had this wasn't.
And that was just like not even protected.
Yeah.
It's fixable. I can fix it tomorrow.
Yeah, it is fixable. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely choose that hand over the just simple closed one. Now, we are on to the head sculpts. How cool. I like it. Look at those teeth. It almost looks like you could pop his face out, but you can't. We got that one. Wow. This thing is a monster. We got a plain face. Man, the design work on this thing is outstanding. Wow. And we got our last one, which, so this would be your normal head. And if you bought the DX, you'd get these 2 extra heads, is what's going on. The DX also comes with the grapple option. So I dig this one.
Mm-hmm.
This one's cool. Actually, let's do our normal one because we got to get them all in there. We got that one. And we got that one. How killer. So what we'll do, let's go ahead. Let's send them on the carousel before we change anything out. I mean, look at this guy. He is a beast of a statue. I mean, he is just monstrous. The thing is he's about the same size as the Dark Knight Returns Batman the Arkham City skin, but his base just puts him well over the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we'll do a separate video with all the DX switch outs because I got to figure out what's going on with that one piece. But we will do a comparison video with the Dark Knight in that video. So, let's give this a try. We're going to switch that. We're going to take our rope. Because it's going to feed through our left hand. And we're going to determine it's got a strong magnet, but could a hand did not be any more ill-fitting. See that? That's pretty scary, huh?
You gonna sand it or?
This one's casting even. There's like bubbles and stuff up top. You usually never see that.
Mm.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to sand the paint off of that. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we feed it there, which makes this process a little scarier. Because then it's going to it'll come across to this hand. And then what it's meant to do. Alright, so we just got off like a 40-minute break, 30-minute. Contacted Sideshow, contacted Prime 1, because I don't want to have to send this whole thing back over a broken chest symbol. In that time, we glued it. It's hardly even noticeable, but it is. It's like we've fixed worse in the past, but no way when you buy a DX statue for over $1,000 should you have to be fixing broken parts on it. But we'll touch that all a little later, what my thoughts are on the whole thing. But we also got the rope through his hand multiple times. Got the slack in it, just like the picture. We had to look it up. But you can see this is also part of the DX. I was just telling Karen how this is probably my favorite setup for him. But the Dark Knight Returns Batman that we have is basically set up the exact same way. If you take a little bit of a look over here, you kind of got a light right there, but you can see with the DK, they did the same thing. I mean, it's definitely cool and I dig it. I love it. This is a custom head, that's why it's not painted. It's a Tony Mays head. We had gotten all 4 heads that he did for this statue, so that's all this is. We're going to be painting that one. We had gotten 2, and then we got 2 more because we liked the first 2 so much. But you can see it's got the same idea going on with both. So we're thinking we might have to go gun for this one, just because. Now, he is massive. He's huge. He's a bruiser. He's going to take up a lot of room. But one thing I would like to do before we wrap this video up is I'd absolutely like to try this black symbol out on him, even though it's broken. Now, from what I could tell, the only way this is going to work is we definitely have to take this off, or at least lift it up enough. Oh, man. Once that is in there,
Yeah, I put it.
now that is how my Batman would look. You can see, you definitely got to get that lifted up just enough, because look at how much it covers him right there. That looks cool. I think they should have gave you an extra. Oh, you know what? Maybe they did. Nope. It would have been nice with an extra right hand that we could have put on him, so we didn't have to go straight gun or rope option. We could have just went like maybe a closed fist up here or anything. Don't get me wrong, the gun is dope. It's huge too. Now that is how I like it. You know what's crazy is that is very true. All right, so you can see this is our master. We've damaged it up a lot more than his is, but we got some really cool plans for all the damaging. This will be made into a urethane rubber, a lot like this one right here. So this is untrimmed. We still got to trim that away. But you can see here, we got a nice cool leather style texture to it. And it's for your Dark Knight costumes. We're going to do a couple things. This is our old school one. It'll be the same thing, but it'll have permanent damaging in it, because anytime someone asks us for a damaged one, we have to personally go in there and damage it up with a different weather pattern. But I really dig how we basically designed this to be of the Batman Dark Knight style. And it's just so cool that this looks just like it. You know, I mean, obviously they should look a lot alike, but I think we really captured, you know, in a 3D realm. When Karen made the stencils, she was only going off of basically a 2D pictures, drawings of Batman. So it's just cool to see how it really holds true. It was kind of based off of the original Prime 1, but not really. I don't even think we were looking at that at the time. But this is cool. It just reminds me exactly of how it looks. Mm-hmm. So this is our DKIII Master Race with the black chest symbol. Again, ours was broken and we glued it. That's, if you see a little bit shiny, that's what's going on there. Now, something I'd like to do, and I gotta emphasize, I really dig this hand. Mm-hmm. This hand is sweet as hell. Those batarangs are way cool. Now I think this setup really separates the men from the boys. You can see who wanted him bad enough to go DX. It doesn't matter if you didn't want to go DX, but I think DX was the way to go with this, because that setup, that is dope. That's killer. It's nice to have that option as an option. And I really dig that Prime 1's starting to offer stands for all these heads. Here's our other two heads, you can see. But I would say almost every time, if you give me an option to go full teeth or just stern, I'm going teeth. All of our Batman statues are almost showing their teeth. Origin's showing his teeth. Thomas over there showing his teeth. Ben Affleck ain't, but, you know. Really dig the teeth option. Let me see. So, yeah, if you were to just get the normal edition, this would be your head. Oh. I do like it. I do like it a lot, actually, but I do like the full teeth showing. Let's at least pop our stern look up there. That's cool, too. Mm-hmm. I like it. That looks like, you know, Batman's not always angry. He does often go stone face. But I dig it. I love it. This piece has held up to every single one of my expectations. If you're wondering whether you should get them or not, absolutely you should get them. One of the things I loved when I saw the prototype was these wrinkles in his suit and how the texture just climbs right over every single little wrinkle. I love all the texture that shows up in his suit. I love these pouches, all the leather. I love the belt too. I really dig that it's not, you know, like a bat sign or anything. It's just, you know, DK Batman. I should say DKR. TDKR, because this is based off of The Dark Knight Returns. I know it's Master Race, because that's what it was on the cover of a comic book. But this is literally when he shoots the grapple from, God, what was it? Bank Tower or Wayne Tower? It's been a while since I've read it. But it's when Two-Face is taking that helicopter and he's going to bomb one of the towers. I think they're World Trade Centers, to be honest. But he shoots the grapple between the buildings. That's what this is. That's what this is. So, I mean, you don't have to read DK3 Master Race to know what's going on here, because this was from The Dark Knight Returns. But it's just, it was a Master Race variant cover. So, yeah. I dig it. Now, what we'll do is once I get a reply back from Sideshow and everything, I'll make a separate video talking about what they're going to do. And we'll get this guy up right next to the Dark Knight Returns Arkham City skin. We'll put them side by side. We'll scale them. We'll show how big they are next to each other. From here, just looking at the TDKR, you can see his legs. Got some massive muscles. The definition's really popping on that statue. It is here too, but this one has got an essence to him. I mean, this base alone, from the moment I seen him at that Comic-Con, I knew he was one we needed to own. Look at that. That cape is beautiful. One thing I would like to say, I recently got a comment. I shouldn't say recently, it was an old comment, but I'm so far behind. Where a guy had said, I don't know why anyone would want multiple statues of the same character. I don't know why you would care why anyone would want multiple statues of the same character. I love Batman. I go off and get, you know, his rogues here and there. Deadman's part of the Justice League Dark. Karen really likes Deadman, and she really likes Swamp Thing, and that's one of the main reasons for those two purchases. But as you could see, it's all Batman's, because that's the character I care about. We have his rogues, but that's because they're from the Batman universe, and we're getting Supermans, but they're part of the Batman stories. The thing is my collection is extremely Batman-centric. We have some Star Wars, old trilogy only, and everything else is literally anime, because Karen loves it. Or it is Batman. So to me, getting a statue of, say, the X-Men, statues of the X-Men, would serve me no purpose, because now I'm not saying I don't like them. I think the Wolverines are extremely dope. There was a time when I almost bought the Sideshow Wolverine, but with Prime 1 making bigger and bigger and bigger and better and bigger space constraints. Once Karen and I move, we'll obviously have a lot more space, but still, these statues aren't cheap. And they take up a lot of space. So you got to get what you love. So collectors are going to collect what they want. I would never ask someone why they bought a piece. There are pieces that I obviously don't like, but the statue that I think is the worst or ugliest or whatever might be someone else's grail. And I don't know, I just don't think you should try to make anyone feel like shit over liking something, because that's what they like. Just because you don't like it, you get what I'm saying? Like, I love Batman. I have people who don't care about Batman. I know people who hate Batman. I don't understand it, because obviously he's the best character ever created and he's the coolest, but that's all my opinion. I think he's the best character and the coolest and the most dynamic and the most interesting, and his universe has created a bigger universe than even, you know, you can obviously say DC Comics is a huge universe, but I think Batman as a character is one of the largest universes. I mean, his whole family gets their own comic books. Nightwing has a comic, Batgirl has a comic, Jason Todd as Red Hood has a comic. Every single person's went off to be their own person, and they're huge. Batman's villains are so awesome, they're getting movies of themselves. Joker stands on his own without Batman. I've known people that like Joker and don't even like Batman. They tune in just for Joker. So, I don't know. That's my feelings on it. I have multiple Batman statues because I think every rendition of Batman is absolutely amazing. And if there isn't one I don't like, then I'm not going to get that statue. But from Prime 1 here, I love the whole Arkham line. Now we're missing a couple Arkham line statues, but we'll remedy that. But right now, you know, the whole world's going through a situation and everyone's been cut back on work and everything. So, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. My heart goes out to anyone affected by all this. But trust me, we're all in the same boat for the most part. But this statue is absolutely wonderful. I love him. I'm a little disappointed that his piece was broken just because Huntress was recently broken and we had to ship her back, and I'm waiting to get the refund just because we sent her on Friday. Today's Saturday. I will let you know what they say, but one thing I do want to say, when Sideshow and Prime 1 had that falling out, whatever that was, the only people that ended up losing was us, the collectors. You could have opinions of Sideshow, you could have opinions of Prime 1, it's whatever it may be. I don't really buy a lot of Sideshow statues anymore because I would rather have Prime 1 statues. But I think as a vendor for Sideshow, I think their customer service is extraordinary. I think it's amazing that they'll pay for the shipping of a statue to come back. They'll pay your original shipping when they refund you, and they'll let you exchange a statue if it's broken. But now, in a case like this, where it's one tiny piece broken. Now Huntress, I understand, because she was broken, but they didn't have more in stock. But with this, they do have more in stock, but they can't just go pop one open, pull out a chest symbol. No, they got to get the whole statue back and the whole thing. There was a time when you would get replacement parts for these things because the two companies communicated with one another. Now, with Dead Man, it became a whole thing with the ribcage being broken, and we basically glued it, fixed it, and moved on with our lives. But this is kind of a prominent piece that stands out in the very front. I think with something like this, it would be nice, and I do got to say this, Sideshow absolutely gave my mom a replacement part, that huge part for the Wonder Woman on a horse, and I praised them for it. I let everyone know that's exactly what happened. No shade, no hate should be thrown at them at all. They have extremely great customer service and business practices. But I think for this one thing, not just this piece, but I think for Prime 1 collectors as a whole who have purchased anything through Sideshow, have an outstanding pre-order, and I gotta tell you, have a new order of Prime 1. Sideshow has been getting new statues of Prime 1. Now granted, they're extremely late on getting them. Maybe that's part of this whole thing, because they're not getting them the day they come out anymore. We pre-ordered Tom Hardy Bane through Sideshow using an extreme amount of Sideshow points on him. That was the cutoff line before. When Bane released, Sideshow did not get Bane, but a couple months ago he finally popped up in their store. They have Lee Bermejo's Batman popping up in their store, and I think if they're going to continue to get new pieces from Prime 1, there should be an open window of communication where we as collectors can get a replacement for a broken part. If Prime 1 was able to create the column for the Hush Batman, which I received mine, I just didn't make a video on putting it together. I just opened it, it was cool, popped it under the cape, felt better about it. If they were able to get those to every single vendor that sold the piece to customers and get those out to customers, I think it would be easy to get replacement parts for a statue that a collector paid probably in some cases $1,000, $1,200, $1,500. Some people have to pay extreme amounts in shipping depending on where they're located in the world. Sometimes people pay as much as the statue costs for shipping to their country. I mean, people are dumping extreme amounts of money onto these because they absolutely love them and they're supporting what they love, and I think companies should take note that they are where they are because they offer a great product, but it's people that make your product great. It is, I mean, obviously you guys made something amazing, but without a customer base, you wouldn't be able to sell anything. And if customers are constantly having problems with broken parts and not getting good solutions, now they do offer you a full refund to return the whole statue, and that's it. They offer you a partial refund to deal with the damage and just kind of live on with your life, or they offer you an exchange. But in a statue that's extremely heavy, comes in 2 separate boxes. You got to get them all the way back to the post office. You got to get those statues all the way back to you. Open up a whole second set. These things take a long time to open. And then you got to hope that when you get that next statue, it's not broken. I mean, when we got the XM Catwoman statue, her motorcycle's broken. Big Bad Toy Stores replaced it immediately, but the next one, her peg wouldn't fit in the stand. Now it's like, imagine if I tried to send it back again to get a third one and a fourth one and a fifth one. Companies are going to get agitated by this. So I ended up just taking a drill, drilling the hole deeper, getting it all to fit, and now we have a extremely expensive statue that had to be MacGyvered into place. I think that there needs to be a line of communication from these companies. Factories need to create a certain amount of replacement parts or be able to order them up, something. Collectors need to have some type of insurance that a piece that they spend basically a mortgage payment or something on, that it's going to be arrive safely, and if it doesn't arrive safely, it'll be whatever needs to be fixed can be fixed, because this is probably the third or fourth statue we've received, but where this styrofoam meets, there's a gap about that big in it where it's not quite set. They used to be constantly pressed down and then taped multiple times. Now they kind of are shifted and taped maybe once. That's literally one piece of tape that was holding these heavy boxes together. I used to work at a shipping company. I worked at FedEx Ground when I was younger. I loaded trucks. I unloaded trucks. I'm telling you now, people are not treating these boxes fragile. It does not matter if it says it's fragile or not. These things are getting thrown onto conveyor belts. They're getting thrown off of belts onto floors. If they're heavy, they actually get treated worse because they're so heavy. It's hard to handle them, and they don't have huge people working there moving these things. They got everyday people who need jobs moving these things. So if you're going to ship it, you got to tighten the security on these things up, because it's not cool, because this piece obviously was free floating, and that's how it got broken. But enough of my thoughts on this. I'll get you guys a comparison video coming. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. Let me know how you feel about these things. I hope everyone's having a good time. I hope, if you're getting this statue, let me know what you think about them. But go ahead, leave me a like, leave me a comment, visit me over on Instagram at Jesse_Rebirth. I tend to get around to people contacting me on there a little quicker because I'm more active on it with YouTube. I set aside large chunks of time. I dig through your comments and I reply to every single person. That's when people just kind of, talk shit. I tend to ignore them. But yeah, I will get to your comment. It just takes a little bit of time. And we're busy. And, I'll get around to you. But find me over on Instagram. And above all, everyone, keep buying toys.